we're back to check our answers on that paragraph from Dr. Al-Maroof. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. It's full of great ideas. I'm so much happier having read all of these essays and paragraphs. I don't know about you. But let's start with Dr. Al-Maroof's paragraph and the main idea. What is his main opinion about what makes people happy? And as always, I'm going to check first that topic sentence, my first sentence of my paragraph, hopefully should give me the main idea of the whole paragraph. And so if I look here, yes, I do have that main idea. According to Dr. Al-Maroof, happy people feel good about themselves and have the right attitude. So his main idea is people should have a good attitude about themselves. Then he goes on to support that opinion with lots of different examples and details. So let's look at some of the methods that he used to support his opinion. So let's start with if sentences. Does he use any if sentences? He does. Right here at the end of the paragraph, these last two sentences, he again, kind of like Sheikh Khalfan does, he talks about if you want to be happy, you must do this. And if you do that, you will be happier. So he's giving us these conditions that if you do this, this is going to be the result. Again, we're going to talk about that in more detail next week, but you can see here where he's using that to support his idea about having a positive attitude and feeling good about yourself makes you happy. So let's continue on with definitions. Does he use definitions? He does. Right here in the very first sentence, he defines for us who happy people are. He says, happy people are people who feel good about themselves and have the right attitude about themselves. So here he's defining what are happy people to support or to give him a foundation to build his support about why you need to feel good about yourself, why having a positive attitude makes you happy. So he's defined for us that this is what happy people are. All right, let's keep on. Does he use any stories? And he does. He uses a story here about one of his brothers being good at sports. So this is, again, it's a personal story to help support his opinion, right? So remember, we can use examples from our own lives to help support our opinion. Furthermore, does he use explanations? Yeah? And he does. He explains what he means about this right attitude. It means you see yourself honestly and are proud of your ability. He also explains happy people can do a lot of things really well. And he explains they realize nobody can be good at everything. So he's using this to explain about what we mean by having a positive attitude, right? And then finally, does he use any examples? The story that he uses here about his brother is also an example. So it could, both of those could be correct. We could also say this attitude means is a definition, right? So there's not like strict lines, this method or this method. They can all kind of be mixed in together, as you see here. But we see he's used a nice variety of methods to support his opinion. However, he does have two supporting details that are not good and are not relevant. Were you able to find them? I hope so. If we look in the first part of our essay, he talks about how happy people are people who feel good about themselves. They have the right attitude. Then he explains what that attitude means. They see themselves honestly and are proud of their abilities. So then our next sentence, happy people can do a lot of things really well, doesn't really support this idea of seeing yourself honestly, right? The point he's trying to make is that happy people are proud of what they can do, but also they realize nobody can be good at everything. They're honest about their abilities. Not that they can do all the things perfectly, but rather what they can do, they're proud of. And if they can't do it, they understand that's okay. Not everybody's perfect. So they have a good attitude about their abilities. So that was our first idea that was not really relevant. It was kind of an opposite idea, right? Can you find our second? It's that very next sentence, which kind of has the same idea, right? Just the opposite. Here, his example that his brother tells him how he is not good at sports doesn't really support having a good attitude, right? What would be better here is if maybe he says, for example, my brother often told me I wasn't good at sports, but I understood that it's okay to be bad at sports. I enjoy playing sports, they make me happy, and it's all right if I'm not very good at it. But he doesn't really give that idea, so instead it just sounds like, well, he's mad at his brother for being kind of mean to him, right? So again, this idea isn't relevant here. It doesn't matter if his brother tells him he's not good at sports. What we want to connect it back to is the attitude, right? Because that's his main idea. So our second irrelevant in detail is this one about his brother telling him he's bad at sports. And I'm just, you know what, that's not a nice thing for a brother to say to another brother. You should be nicer to each other. Yeah, be nice to each other. All right, great. So I hope you were able to read that, and I hope those ideas kind of like ping, ping, ping out at you, like, oh, that's not supporting his main idea. I hope so. If not, we're going to keep practicing it as we go forward. So let's review. In this lesson, we looked at some different methods for supporting our main ideas, things like if clauses, explanations, examples, definitions, stories, statistics. We also looked at examples of supporting reasons and determined if they were good and relevant. If you're still having questions about that, go back and watch that video again, and then maybe talk to your teacher if you're still not clear. Then we looked at an example essays, or it's actually a paragraph, supporting reasons, and we identified those irrelevant details. Excellent. So, like I said, if you're still having questions about how to determine if your supporting details are good and relevant, watch the videos again. If you're still having questions, talk to your teacher, ask if maybe he or she can help you to understand this, and also listen to their feedback this week because they're going to be talking all about it. Finally, thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to take a picture of your screenshot of your form results and put those in your writing workbook. And I'll see you again soon for our next step in our essay writing adventure. Bye.